Minutes past 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the program. And as you've noticed around here, it's starting to feel like summer. The heat and humidity starting to creep back on us. And, you know, it's hard to imagine anything more American that perfectly captures summer than the Great American Hamburger. We are talking yummy, and our resident health nut, Sheree Clark, says it's possible to upgrade that beautiful hunk of meat between two pieces of bread and make it healthier.
It is.
You really want to try this?
Yes, because it's increments, just like everything else. We don't have to go off the deep end. We don't have to go the whole tofu route all at once.
Okay.
What we need to do is remember this. A hamburger, and I've got one here, a traditional, you know, maybe not all that great and healthy hamburger, is made up kind of 3 layers. You've got the inside, which is the burger or the patty or the whatever. You've got the outside, which is, in this case, a white bun, and then you've got the condiments. So if we look at each one of those elements and think about, is there a way that we could upgrade even one small bit of that, then we're a little bit closer on the road to being healthier.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
So,
Fair enough.
So let's look at the outside first. So instead of a white hamburger bun, which if you look at the package on a hamburger bun when you go into the store, first of all, the ingredient list is this long.
Sure. Second
of all, if you look really closely, you're not going to be surprised. You're going to find high fructose corn syrup. There's wheat and gluten and all kinds of things, preservatives, a lot of stuff you don't even know what it is. So if we look at maybe, let's say you still like bread, you still like the carbs and the chew, and most of us do. You can go with a gluten-free, but another step and another way is to go with something like, this is an organic sunflower seed bread, which is really...
Is that what you have over here?
That's what Jason has, yep. And so I've got each of you a burger and a little bit kind of a setup here. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a really different alternative.
It's a very hearty.
It's hearty, it's dense, it's chewy. I like it toasted.
I was going to say, would it be good toasted?
Yeah, it's real good toasted. So there's an alternative. So here's the thing to remember too. A lot of times people will talk about they have celiac or they have an issue with gluten. So they get gluten-free bread or gluten-free pasta. There's a difference between replacement and substitution. And a gluten-free pasta would be what I would call a substitution. Why don't we look at replacements? This replaces traditional bread. There is no wheat in it. It's made out of sunflower seeds.
So it has protein in it, right?
It's got protein in it, exactly. Yeah. And it's got fewer ingredients. In this particular case, the ingredient list is a lot shorter, and the ingredient list is
3 lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so freshly ground in our own mill, baked with natural ingredients. So that's a good alternative. Okay. Another alternative for the outside or for the bun would be something that's a plant-based material. So, Jason, we've seen that you've got the bread.
Yep.
Jackie, I've given you 2 options there. One of them is just a piece of cabbage, and that is a red cabbage, real good for you, got a lot of fiber, real crunchy. Underneath that is a collard green.
Oh, really?
And the collard green, I wilted with a little bit of lemon juice and salt, rinsed it off because you don't want to eat a whole bunch of salt. So you've got a choice. You can wrap up your burger in between any one of those 2.
I have gone to that years ago when Hardee's offered the salad wrap to their burgers. Even a place like that, you can ask for that.
Yep.
And sometimes you feel better just sometimes wrapping it in lettuce as opposed to eating all those carbohydrates.
Right, and it's a nice crunch, and it's real good, and I love that. And then Lou, for you, I've got just a romaine, and those are real good. What you could do if you could just put 2 of them and make them into a bun. You can fold it over. You could crunch up the burger that I made for you that we'll talk about in just a second. So there's all kinds of options. So let's don't just immediately gravitate toward a regular hamburger bun. Then let's look at what's inside.
Okay.
The traditional burger, we already know the issues, and I'm not going to indict beef. People eat beef and those kinds of things all the time, and I'm supportive of that if you're mindful of what it is that you're eating. Go for the non-hormone, non-antibiotic, go for grass-fed, go for the best, leanest piece of meat that you can find. If you're choosing to be vegetarian or vegan, there are lots of options. In addition to garden burgers or the national brands, there are some other smaller ones that I really like better. And this one in particular, we've got, it's called Veggie Burger. And this one's got a shorter ingredient list. It's made out of millet, quinoa, coconut oil, sweet potato, greens, and so forth. It looks like this. And
doesn't look like a burger.
It doesn't look like a burger right now. Remember, this is raw, so to speak. It's just, I just took it out of the package. I haven't done anything to it. You could put it on the grill, so you give it those sear marks. It looks a little bit, to me, more like a chicken burger.
Right, like a chicken patty. Yeah.
But it's real nice. And because of the other thing, remember this, now we're going to get into the condiments and so forth. Actually, I'm going to tell you first about your burger.
Why do you prefer that one over something that you've created?
You know, I don't. I prefer
like other brands.
other brands. The national brands, sometimes if I look at the national brands, let's face it, if they've got a lot of money to advertise on TV, they're probably, it's going to be a little bit less removed from being a smaller batch type of a thing. So garden burgers are fine. I think this is a step up, to be honest with you.
And
the
what one do
ingredient
you
list is
say?
shorter.
The Morning Star, but they have a longer list
Yeah, they do.
of ingredients too. It's a black bean burger, and I like it. I'm sure it's more healthy than that.
Right. And the moral of the story is read ingredient labels.
Yeah.
Always, always. And trade and try and experiment with new things. I made you a nut burger.
Okay.
We've had these before. I've made them for Jason. I don't know if I've made them for you. This is just a plain, it's a couple of different kinds of nuts. There's some sunflower seeds in there also, real good protein, nice little profile in there. There's some sun-dried tomatoes. I put in some garlic, a little bit of onion. I didn't do a lot of flavors because I wanted to talk about condiments.
Okay.
And the condiments are the things that we put on top. Ketchup, which is high fructose corn syrup, a lot of sugar, not so much tomato, a lot of coloring, preservatives, and those kinds of things. So if you like the tomato taste, we've got pico de gallo, and I'm just going to pass these around. You've all got a spoon. You can take whatever it is you want. There's pico de gallo there in the center.
I'm gonna load up here.
You've got hummus would be a really nice option to put on a burger, because remember, the burger is really, it's an excuse for a carrier for a lot of other things. So sometimes we put cheese, whatever. Guacamole is
Put
an
a little
option.
bit of everything on here. What the heck?
Why not? Just go for broke. There is some shredded cabbage, because I want to give you an excuse to get some more vegetables on there.
Right.
There's some homegrown, one of my favorite things to put on burgers or anything is sprouts. And those are some homegrown sunflower.
Did you do those?
I make those myself. Yep.
What kind of sprouts are they?
Sunflower sprouts.
Okay.
And all I do is I take some of my compost, not composted from the chicken that we talked about in the last story.
So am I totally taking away the healthiness of this burger by
No, I wouldn't
Loading
bring
it
you.
up?
I wouldn't bring you any condiments that weren't healthy. I say knock yourself out, because
right.
what's going to happen is the more of those things you eat, the less you're going to want to eat the chips and the other things that are on the buffet.
French fries and things like that?
Exactly.
Okay, there you go, Jason.
Now I
So-
feel bad for under my bird feeders throwing the sunflower sprouts away. I should be eating them.
Well, yeah, but it
huge
depends
sprouts.
on what your seeds are from. I do organic seeds that don't have any anything. They're good seeds. So you've got to start with good seeds. You've got to start with good ingredients with everything that you cook. You've got to start with good seeds with everything that you grow. So that's the bottom line.
If they're grown in your bird feeder, just harvest them and put them on your salad, Jason.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a lettuce growing in pots on my deck, and I
me
had some
too.
last night. Really good. I felt so self-righteous and better than other people when I did
Isn't that great?
It is.
And
it really
because
is
it's so fresh, you got it. You took it right from the ground and immediately brought it in. There's nothing better.
It was good.
It wasn't trucked 5,000 miles, and it wasn't held in a refrigerator forever.
Okay, I will say I've loaded this with condiments, so I taste a lot of that. But you have the underlying flavor
Of the burger.
of a burger.
I
But
like
doing it in a
I would
healthier way.
prefer to toast the bread. And
Yeah.
I'm going to buy some of this bread.
Yeah, oh, good. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there is something about an element of it just kind of being warm.
Yes.
Is the opportunity of just kind of warming that up a little bit? I know you like
Absolutely.
doing things raw.
Yes, absolutely. And remember that, like I said, in my world, everything's a continuum. If all you did was add sprouts to the burger that you've always been eating, you're still a little bit better.
Making a
Moving
better
up.
choice.
Yeah,
Stepping up.
exactly.
But it does have the burger taste to it when you bite
Right.
into it. It has that burger taste to it.
And if it didn't, it wouldn't be as satisfying. So
Right.
that's the key. You find the bleeding edge where it's, okay, this is healthy, but I still really like it. And when you go too far in one way or the other, then you pull yourself back. It's all about moderation and continuums, and
There you go.
making it all a little
Making
bit
better
better.
All right, so fork in the road. Where are we at?
Fork in the road, we're looking at a little bit later into the summer now, but we're coming.
Okay, but if you want more information on how to create these things or get some other tips,
Right.
where
Then
can
they
you go?
would definitely want to contact me at www.fork-road.com or drop me an email at info@fork-road.com.
Well, this is very good. You're not getting this back.
Yeah, I like
glad.
it.
Well, about
Honestly,
making better
do.
choices because we all want those bikini bods. Right?
That's exactly
There you go.
right. So let's get going.
Jason hasn't fit into a bikini in years.
I know. We're working on
I
that.
try once a week.
I want to see that.
It is
No, you don't.
9:24. We'll be right back here watching Great Day Live on KC.